And trade partners reacted to the US President's executive order, which would levy new tariffs on many of them in 7 days, as the global economy and alliances face another Trump test. Several countries are pushing for talks to clinch better deals, whereas many others are chalking out plans to support their exporters and diversify their markets. Here's more in this report.
US President Donald Trump's latest flurry of tariffs has rekindled global trade tensions. Countries across the globe are busy strategizing policies to safeguard their national interests. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has vowed to combat US President Trump's 50% tariffs on its exports and defend his country's sovereignty.
I will participate in a meeting to defend the sovereignty of the Brazilian people in the face of measures announced by the President of the United States.
Trump's 30% tariffs on South Africa have disrupted its car exports to the US, with one industry body calling it a socio-economic crisis in the making. South Africa's central bank has estimated that the latest Trump tariff could cause 100,000 job losses, mainly in the agriculture and automotive sector. In this backdrop, the government is finalizing a support package for vulnerable exporters. President Cyril Ramaphosa said his administration will use the week-long delay in American imposition of 30% tariffs to find a way to settle this matter.
Negotiations with the United States are continuing. And let's be clear, South Africa is not the only country that is dealing with this crisis. And many other countries, some of which are in a much worse situation than we are. Many of our companies deal with the United States customers.
Swiss manufacturers warned on Friday that tens of thousands of jobs were at risk after President Trump hit Switzerland with 39% tariff. Switzerland's foreign minister said his country will continue to strive for an agreement with the US. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney expressed disappointment as US raised tariffs on Canadian goods from 25 to 35%. Taiwan President Lai Ching-te said the new 20% tariff rate set by the Trump administration on goods imported from the island is provisional, and the government expects a negotiated lower figure.
So far, the negotiations have achieved some interim progress. The tax rate has been reduced from 32% to 20%. However, the 20% tariff rate was never Taiwan's target to begin with. We will continue negotiations and strive for a rate that's more favorable for Taiwan.
However, there are also countries like Thailand and Cambodia which have welcomed the new US tariffs. On the other hand, China warned on Friday that protectionism harms the interests of all parties and there is no winner in a tariff or trade war. Bureau Report, DD India.